Yeah, good evening. My name is Jeremy Waterman. I'm Exterior Design Manager on the Evoque, Range Rover Evoque program. So my job day to day was to work on the exterior with the team, the clay modelers, and basically translate the LRX concept car into the production reality that you see behind me. And that was basically just to work with the engineers and everyone involved to maintain that concept car feeling right into production reality.
And can you please explain us the key features of the design of this car?
Yeah, the key features, the Range Rover Evoque is to expand the Range Rover portfolio, and basically it's a bold evolution of Range Rover design. So it's obviously the smallest car we've ever done, and it's a compact sort of SUV premium. It's very sort of high level of quality and detailing, and but it's all about the sort of emotional connection with this car. It's a fantastic looking car. It's obviously compact and it's very dramatic. So compared to some traditional Range Rovers, which are very horizontal and maybe in the waistline, this one has got a lot of attitude in the waist, very dramatic falling roof. So when you see the car, it's got a lot of drama, it's very dramatic, but it's got traditional Range Rover cues with a clamshell bonnet, the wraparound roof, the floating roof graphic, the proportions, the wheel at each corner stance, and then just with fantastic dual light detailing of the lights and things like that. And combined with that, fantastic powertrain, great driving dynamics, and a fantastic luxurious interior.
And what were the main inspirations in the design of the car? Was it nature, architecture?
I don't think you can say specifically there's anything really that kind of inspired the car, but it was to fill a niche in this what we call white space, which was a SUV compact premium car, which no one other manufacturer was doing, and that led to the LRX concept car. And then obviously that car was trying to create some sort of drama and really a sort of have this sort of wow factor to that car. So the actual inspirations come from sort of subliminally everything in the world, from sort of high fashion, high luxury products such as watches, and that's more for the detailing of the car. But inspiration comes from obviously traditional Range Rover cues, but we've tried to sort of dial it up on this car and sort of push the forward brand significantly with regard to its DNA on this car, while maintaining the sort of the traditional Range Rover cues in certain aspects of the car.
Speaking of luxury, you were working in the USA as well before you
I did, yeah. In my early career I worked for Lincoln in North America, and that taught me a lot about premium luxury and what the consumer wants from a luxurious product. So it's interesting working for an American company and then coming to a company based in the UK. But I think throughout the world, everyone luxury is similar throughout the world. Really, people want premium products now. They want cars to be world cars. So this wasn't designed for a specific market. It was designed for all markets to fit in all markets.
So would you say there's a difference between the European market and the US market, depending on luxury?
I think, as I just said, I think it's quite sort of a world market now with regard to luxury. Some American manufacturers are more traditional with regard to, they sometimes look backwards to sort of more sort of heritage. But this car is very 21st century, it's bang up to date, and it's been designed with, as I said, all world markets in mind, and it's really just about getting a great product in this car, and that's what we feel we've done with the Range Rover Evoque.
And Land Rover is a very traditional design. It's the role model for lots of other SUVs.
Right.
And how did you conserve this traditional line, even in this 21st century car?
It's about maintaining our core DNA, as it were. We've always been famous for our off-road capabilities and our terrain response system, things like that. Unrivaled levels of performance on and off-road, interior luxury features, and that feeling of opulence that our cars have as well. So in anything we do, we make sure we maintain those key features within our brand, and without diluting the brand in any way. But then with this car, we're obviously trying to move the brand forward in quite a bold way.
From the history to the future, what would you say, how might an SUV look like in 25 years?
In 25 years? I think the SUV in 25 years, it's all about what the customer wants from an SUV, and obviously it has to be functional. I mean, because an SUV came from the go anywhere kind of feeling and the off-road ground clearance. I don't think aesthetically they'll change too much in their physical sense with regard to being having the same sort of proportions, roof on body, that kind of thing. I think some things will affect the look of SUVs, possibly legislation, and then also with advances in materials and things like that, and powertrains, that might affect the look of SUVs. But obviously we're exploring that right now, so it's an interesting time for us.
Most of the customers of the future, like people who are 13 to 18 now, they learned how to drive with their thumbs a car. Can you imagine that maybe in 30, 40 years we don't use a steering wheel and pedals anymore, but a joypad or something like that?
My personal opinion is that you'll always have a steering wheel or something of that nature in the car, purely for the sort of the feedback that you get from driving a car, the emotional connection you get with the car. I mean, the steering wheel survived for 100 years now, so I mean, it's been seen in films with joystick controls and things like that, but I don't think that's something we'll be exploring. And I think maybe in another 100 years you might look at another way of driving a car, but to me then it doesn't become a car because it's a mode of transport then, if you're not driving yourself, for instance.
And we are talking a lot about apps these days, and you're the exterior designer normally, but what can you imagine, what will be an application in the car which changes completely the way we use a car, or use our time in the car?
Me personally, I think an application where, for instance, our mobile phones are becoming more like a sort of our whole life is based on a mobile phone, from our our movies, our videos, all our contacts. So possibly if you got into a car, you docked that and it actually uploaded everything into your car, all your movies, all your contacts, all your diary and everything like that. And the car becomes more of an extension of your office. So to me, that's something I could see coming in the future with applications.
Yeah. And you just talked about it, that the experience of driving the car itself won't change that much in the future. Do you think someday the car will drive us automatically? And if so, is it just the technology is there already? So is it more an ethical problem or more a problem of law?
I personally don't see a time when cars will drive themselves. I think then, like I said, I think it becomes a mode of transport then rather than automotive experience. I know we do have now assistances for sort of cruise control and devices that actually keep you a certain distance from the car in front. I think there'll be systems that aid us with our driving, but I don't ever see a car driving itself. And then if it does, to me, then it loses that sort of emotional connection of how you experience. Because driving a car is a lot about the experience and the connectivity, the touch and feel of the steering wheel, the leather, particularly in our cars with our premium materials. So that's my personal view, that something we won't be exploring possibly.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Last question, your personal vision of the car in 2050, what do you think? What will be the biggest thing that will change?
The biggest thing, I think, to me will be probably alternative power sources, alternative fuels, and advancements in material structures and lightweight materials. So I think cars will still want to look proportionally good, beautiful pieces of sort of design. I just think things are going to be affected more by, say, aerodynamics, so certain forms might start getting a lot more sort of shaped, a lot more roundly, but then I think the sort of overall aesthetics of cars proportionally wise will stay the same, but who knows in 100 years what will happen.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, yeah, pleasure. Thanks. Nice to meet you.